Hi everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at the FEELWORLD L2 PLUS multi-format video mixer. And I'd like to thank FEELWORLD for sending this out to me to review. And as always, they haven't seen this video before I publish it, and I'll always give you my honest opinion. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So today we're looking at the FEELWORLD L2 multi-format video mixer. And I know that's a mouthful, but basically it's a device that can take in 4 HDMI sources, and then you can mix and match those or transition between them any way you want, and output that to a USB 3.0 device such as your laptop and OBS software, or out to an HDMI device such as another monitor or an HDMI recording device. So this is really an excellent device for both streaming and content creation. All right, so here's the device on my desk, and I'm actually using it right now to record this entire video. And what we're looking at here is the 5.5-inch touchscreen preview window. So what we can see here are the 4 HDMI inputs that are coming in through the back. And then here is the standby window. And then this is the actual program window, or what's live and being recorded through the USB-C port, which goes into my laptop. And I'm recording using OBS software. And then on the back here, we have our 5 HDMI ports. The first 4 are the inputs. And as you can see here, I have an Amazon Fire Stick plugged in, so these are HDCP compatible. The 5th port here is an HDMI out. And this can output either what you see here on the screen right now, which is the preview window, to a larger monitor, or you can output just the program window, what you want to record, to an HDMI recorder, for example. Now let's go over to the side here. So I'll just, I can select number 3 window with the button here, or I can touch it here on the screen and then transition slowly over using the transition bar. And as you can see here, we have an audio out. This is a standard 3.5 millimeter jack for headphones, so you can monitor the audio. And then next to it is the audio in, which is right now has the microphone that I'm actually using to record this video plugged into the audio in. Again, standard 3.5 millimeter jack. And the USB A 3.0 jack that is going into the computer to record through OBS software. And then finally, actually, there's a LAN port here, and you can plug this into a router or a wireless router, and somebody can control this device over the network virtually from a different location. So that's really handy for larger productions where you might have a separate person producing the entire scene from a different room, where they're not interfering with the actual talents or whatever else might be going on. Now, that's not a use case that I use, so I won't get into that too much, but just be aware of that. The LAN software is fully functional and allows you to control everything on this device that you can control as if the device were right in front of you in the same room. All right, I want to show you some of the touchscreen functions here. Now, I can use the buttons to kind of switch from window to window, or I can just touch the screen and it'll select if I double tap, for example, like so, and then I can transition back and forth that way. And in the menu, we also have picture in picture. So for example, if I wanted to do one of those sort of reaction videos, I can put my picture up in the top left corner while a movie's playing in the background. So what I would do is just select this touchscreen, and you can see my head popped up over there. And let me exit out. There. So as you can see, if I want to do sort of one of those reaction videos for YouTube, you know, I could put myself up in the top corner and then have the movie playing down below. Okay, let me turn that off. Like so. We also have, what I like here is the transition mode. So if I can transition mode via the T-bar, or I can transition using the buttons or the touch screen. So let me change that to just fast and get out. And now I can just transition this way. See, very quickly. I prefer using the T-bar actually, but So I'm going to change it back. And you can set the timing 1 second or whatever for the fast mode. But with the T-bar mode, you set the time yourself by how fast you slide this up and down. Okay, we also have chroma key, which is really cool. You'll notice that I have a green screen behind me. So if I turn this chroma key on, and let me select my window, and then go in, and we'll turn the chroma key on. And you have different colors you can choose from. I chose green, but there's like blue and cyan and maybe another color. And then for the background, let me exit this. Maybe I want to select this one. And as you can see in the standby window, it's showing that I selected input source number 4. And if I transition over, now I have the HDMI input number 4. But I can change that very easily. Let me go back. And I can change it to HDMI source number 3 and go back in. And I can transition to window number 4 completely without doing the green screen. Now let me go ahead and turn the green screen off. So I will just double tap it. There we go. And go back out. Now let me show you a couple other things here in the special effects menu. You can actually add a logo and have that overlay somewhere on the screen, but that's not something I use, and you need to use the LAN software to do that. You can't do that in the device itself. And then you also can control this PTZ, or it's called, I think, Power Tilt Zoom camera. It does have that compatibility. I don't have a Power Tilt Zoom camera to show you, but that does work from what I hear. But it's something I can't test. And then lastly, I think I did show you the mix, yeah, where we can do different transitions. So I can transition this way. There's a few there. Let's go back out. Let's go to the main menu, or the main menu. And again, this is stuff for more of the hardware side of the device. So like if I go into audio, I can tell the audio, I can tell the machine that I want the audio to come from the line in. So I'm just going to use the wheel this time. So I just switch back to line in. There is one, and I'll talk about this in a minute, but there's some caveats to that. And then the external type, it can be a mic or it can be a line. I choose mic because I have a mic plugged in. And then the audio bar, basically that's what these little meters are here in every window. So it's showing you audio coming in for every window. And I'll talk about that in a second. So let's get out of this. All right. So this device is a video mixer, not an audio mixer. So you can have a single source of audio for all the different input sources, which is my use case 99.999% of the time. Or you can set it to pull the audio from the individual cameras. So if you have 4 cameras plugged into this device with their own audio, maybe you have a boom mic on top, however you configure audio for your cameras. When you switch cameras, it'll switch to the audio source of that camera. So if you have camera 1 and you select the camera 1 to be displayed, it'll play the audio from camera 1. Then when you switch to camera 2, it'll play the audio from camera 2. So it's not a mixer, it's a switcher. It just switches from one source to the next. Or you can tell it to pull audio from a specific source, like I showed you. You can pull it from the audio in jack, the 3.5 millimeter jack on the side, or you can pull it from any of the input sources individually. So input 1, 2, 3, or 4. There's no way to mix the audio together. So if you're like in a podcasting situation where you have 3 other people talking to you, you're not going to hear the other people. So ideally, you know, with podcasting, you want to have a separate audio mixer like a Rodecaster or something, and you want to do it professionally. That's the way to do it. This device is not for doing things like that. You can plug the Rodecaster directly into the audio in on this device, but you know, if you're doing those kind of sophisticated setups, you really should plug the audio mixer into your computer and have this plugged into your computer, and then use the OBS or whatever software to handle that production. Now, there's a few negatives to the device that I've already talked about. One of them, and that's that it's not an audio mixer, so it's not like an all-in-one solution. It's not designed for that. But the other things were just very, very minor, and I'll just have to show you on the device itself. Now, the first thing I noticed when I took it out of the box and put it on my desk is that it didn't lay completely flat. There's a little bit of wobble here because there's like 4 rubber feet on the bottom that weren't lined up properly. I mean, not a big deal, but I thought I'd mention it. The other thing is that this has a built-in internal fan, which is great because it keeps the device cool. I mean, it's not hot to touch at all. But if you have to work in a very quiet environment, the fan is audible. I mean, you probably haven't noticed it the whole time I made this video because I have the low cut filter on my mic turned on, and it cuts the fan noise right out. But also I run a noise filter in real time using the OBS software. So it doesn't affect the audio quality at all for normal type stuff. But if you have to work in a quiet environment where you can't use noise filters and low cut filters, the fan noise is going to be audible. You can turn it off. Just go into the menu, go into settings here, and you have fan speeds 1, 2, 3. Let me turn it all the way to its loudest. You might hear it now. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but you can also just turn it off like that. And I've run this for a couple hours with the fan off without any problems, but I keep my room pretty cool, right around 20 Celsius or 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And at those temperatures, I never had a problem with the fan off, but I usually just leave it set to level 1. And that's pretty quiet. So I have links down below to the manufacturer, and they're not affiliate links. They're just so you can check out the specific specifications and additional features maybe that I didn't cover, because I really only covered the features that are specific to my use case and that I'm familiar with. But in any case, I appreciate you watching, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.